Today we'll be covering lesson 5, horizontal and vertical lines, and the way we'll approach this will be HOYe. So what does HOYe mean? HOYe is horizontal line, a zero slope, and a y equals a number. Now when you think y equals a number, you gotta look at what axis it's chopping through. So if the line's going this way, it's chopping through the y-axis. If it goes this way, it's chopping through the x-axis. So you see how that's chopping through the x-axis? I'm sorry, the y-axis. That's why we say that it's y equals the number. And let me leave that there for a second for you to copy that down. All right, now we're going to talk about the VUXe. So HOYe. So the VUXe part of it is vertical line, undefined slope, and an x equals a number. And this one chops through the x-axis, kind of like what I just talked about here. It's chopping through the x-axis. So this is a vertical line here. It's chopping through the y-axis. It's a horizontal line, y equals. So again, VUXe would be vertical, undefined, and x equals. We have horizontal line, zero slope, and y equals. So this first part, actually let me give you a few seconds to copy that down. Alright, so this first part asks us to write the equation of the line. So we're either going to be dealing with the HOYe or the VUXe, and that's basically what you're going to ask yourself every time. Is this a HOYe or a VUXe? Well, since it's a vertical line, I need the VUXe. So that means, since we're writing the equation here, this means x is going to equal a number. Well, what number is it going to be? Well, that depends on what this number is right here. So I need to go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's in the negative direction. So our equation is x equals negative 5. And that's your answer. Alright. The next one, we're dealing with a line that's horizontal. So again, HOYe or VUXe. This time it's horizontal, so we need HOYe. So that means that since we're dealing with the equation of the line, that means we're going to need a y equals. Well, what does y equal in this case? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's in the positive direction, so y equals 4. And there's your equation. So again, you're just asking yourself, is it a vertical line or is it a horizontal line? And then depending on that, it depends on what you use. Alright, so this next problem, this time we're going to graph the line. And again, you're going to ask yourself, is it the HOYe or the VUXe? This one needs a y equals. Y equals was the HOYe. So that means I need to have a horizontal line. So that means I'm going to go to the y-axis and go to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I'm going to draw a horizontal line. Draw your arrows and you're done. Okay, on this next problem it says x equals. Well, x equals was the VUXe. So it's vertical, undefined, x equals. So it wants us to draw the line, so our line needs to be a vertical line. So I'm going to go to the x-axis at 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to put a dot. And I'm going to draw a line going vertical. And that's all you do for those problems. Alright, I'll give you a few seconds and then I'll go to the next side. Alright. So on this next part, I kind of filled it out already, but we're going to talk about it as we go. So if you look, we know that this is a vertical line, so we need the VUXe. So we have two, you could pick any points on here. There's multiple points, but I chose the two that were already on the line. So this was 2, 1, and this is 2, 3. So that's where these points are. So if you look, you should notice that your x's are the same, which is what we want. Alright, so the equation of this, and I forgot the e on this, this is an x equals. So what does x equal? X equals 2. So that's the second part. What kind of slope is it? Well, that's the u part of it. It's undefined. What type is it? Well, was it horizontal or vertical? It was vertical. Okay, this next part may be tricky because y'all may not think of it like this, but is this a function? No, it is not. Why? Because it fails the vertical line test. It touches more than one point. That means it's not a function. Now, these two. So we have your x in relation to the x-axis. So here's your x-axis. Here's your line. Those are perpendicular. That's what that symbol means, perpendicular to the x-axis. Why did I write that they're both parallel, or that it's parallel to the y-axis? Well, vertical line, here's the y-axis, those are your railroad tracks. So in this case, it's parallel to the y-axis. Alright, so let me leave that there so that you can get it all there. And then we'll go to the next part. So let's look at this one. So we have a horizontal line. So we know it should be a HOYe. We have a horizontal line, 0, and a y equals. So the two ordered pairs that I found, again, I could have picked anything on here. There's multiple points that are on here. But here's what I did. I picked the two that were already on there, which was -4, -3, and 2, -3. So what you should notice on this is that the y values are the same. So what is the equation for this problem? Y equals 3. What kind of slope is it? Because it's a HOYe, that should tell you that it's a 0 slope. It's a horizontal line. Is this a function? Well, if I did the vertical line test, it would pass. So is it a function? Yes. How does this line right here relate to the x-axis? Well, if you look, that's parallel. So that's what we would write on that, parallel lines. How does it relate to the x-axis? Well, if you move that line, actually it should be this line. Those are perpendicular. So it is perpendicular. So I'll leave that for just a second and then I'll go to the next part. Alright, so number 1. We're going to write the equation of the line that passes through through 3, -2, that is perpendicular to the x-axis. Okay, so what I like to do is I like to kind of draw a picture. And 3, -2 is about right here. I'm just going to say that's 3, -2. Now, I need this perpendicular to the x-axis. So if I go this way and draw my line like this, that's parallel to the x-axis. But if I go this way, it's perpendicular. So that means that my line needs to go vertical. So which one deals with vertical? Well, that's VUXe. So it wants the equation, so I know I need an x equals. Well, what does x equal in this problem? It equals 3. And there's your answer. What I'm going to tell you on these is it's going to be really helpful if you draw yourself a picture on these. Alright, let's look at number 2. So on this one, you want to write an equation for the line that passes through 0, -3, that is parallel to the x-axis. Okay, so again, I'm going to draw myself a little picture. 0, -3 is roughly here. Here's 0, -3. And I need it to be parallel to the x-axis. So again, if I go like this, that's perpendicular to the x-axis. But if I go in this direction, that's parallel. So I'm going to draw my line like this. Okay, so here I know that this is a horizontal line, so that should tell me that I need HOYe. And what kind of equation is it? Well, it's a y equals. What does y equal? Well, y equals -3. And there's your answer. Alright. So this is one that they've shown on the EOC test before. So this is one that the wording is very similar to what you would see on the EOC. So you want to know what is the equation of the line that passes through -1, -3 and has a slope of 0. So again, I'm going to draw myself a little line. -1, -3 is roughly here. Again, all I'm doing is drawing a sketch. And I need this to be a 0 slope. Well, 0 is a HOYe. So that means I need a horizontal line. And I also need, because I'm looking for the equation, I need a y equals. Well, what does y equal in this problem? -3. Okay, last problem. So we're going to write the equation of the line that passes through 4, -3 and 4, 8. So again, these are rough estimates. So I have 4, -8. I'm sorry, 4, 8. We're going to call that 4, 8. And then we have 4, -3. Well, if I connect those two lines, that's vertical. So that means I need the VUXe, which means I need an x equals, and as you can see, both x's are 4. And these last two, you could have gone without a picture, but I went ahead and did a picture just so that you guys can see. You should have been able to see, since it's a 0 slope, it was a y equals. What did y equal? -3. Same thing here. Because you know that the x is repeated here, it should have been an x equals. Alright.